Guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kristin. Today we're doing some yarn DIYs. So I picked up all this yarn from Dollar Tree. Now, if you're not new to my channel, I kind of like the boring colors, as you would say. I think these are actually really pretty colors, so it's kind of what I go with when I want to pick out yarn. I didn't want anything popping, I didn't want anything pink, I didn't want anything blue. So anyways, this first DIY, I seen this on Pinterest and it was the cutest thing. It is like a tassel type wreath. So I grabbed a book. You can grab any book you want, maybe something a little bit smaller than this. This one's about 18 inches long, and I just wrapped the yarn around this about 16 times. So I did this multiple times. It is a time consuming DIY, but I think it actually turned out really cute in the end. So once that was tied around the book, I just kind of pushed it off, tied another piece of yarn in the center. So I kind of have like a bow, and then I am going to be cutting the yarn at the ends. So there is not that like bubble at the end. It's kind of what I want to call it. I guess we're going to call it a bubble. These are not crocheting. These are not knitting. I don't know how to do any of that. I just thought it'd be fun to use some yarn. Bamboo rings for the win. These are also at Dollar Tree, but I've had them forever. And when I found them, they were like a brand new item. So I had to pick up multiple because that's what I used to do at Dollar Tree, is pick up multiple items and then not have a clue what to do with them. So I did 4 different colors. Right? 4 different colors, 5 different colors, 4 different colors. And once that was done, I just kind of put the yarn, my little yarn ball underneath, and then flipped it and then tied it together to make these little like pom-poms. Or they're not really pom-poms, they're like little tassels. Either way, these are the cutest. I loved this gray color. I liked that mustardy color, the dark coral color. And we're just going to keep doing this multiple times over and over and over again. So put on a movie and watch it. That's exactly what I did when I did this DIY. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show you the entire process because it is very repetitive. I was able to actually, when I used 4 of these on that larger embroidery hoop ring, I was able to make a perfect pattern. So you're going to want to make, I want to say 6 or 7 colors of the same times by 4. You're making like 28 to 30, give or take exactly what I used here. You're going to be making a lot of these wraparound book yarn pieces. Like I said, this is a little bit longer. I was going to cut the edges down to make them look more perfect, but I actually liked the messy way. I thought that this was just like super cute when it was completely done, that I didn't want to keep chopping the yarn, because if I chopped it too short and didn't like how it looked, I was going to 100% regret it. But I actually like the long pieces. You can do what you wish with this one. The one I seen on Pinterest, I will link in the description box. They made like a really cute Easter one with beads. You could add something behind this. You could add something in the center, on the side. You could do whatever you'd want with it. But this is how mine turned out, and I absolutely love this. I just kind of pushed it all together, made sure the yarn pieces were all, lined up with each color, and that is it. I think this was absolutely the cutest thing, and I'm so glad that it took me an hour and a half, because you have a cute little project when you're done. So I figured I might as well keep using these embroidery hoops because I will probably never get them out once this video is done. So I am trying to work through my stash. I've said this on almost every single video, but honestly, I really have been working through my stash. I did buy some yarn because the yarn that I had was not the color that I wanted, but I used more than half of these rolls. So keep that in mind when you are creating some of these projects, that I use the same colors. I didn't want to do anything crazy. I didn't want to buy a ton of yarn if I knew really I wasn't going to use it in the long run. I don't love the feel of yarn. I think it has like such a gross texture to it. So I don't love it, but I also cannot wear gloves. I also don't like latex gloves. I don't like the feel of those either. So anyways, I wouldn't like gloves anyways crafting. I'd rather burn my fingers and not have fingerprints before I would wear gloves, or I would just feel things I don't like to feel. But I just wrapped the first one around in yarn in the center. And then this one, I was going to go a little bit farther with this. I wanted to add a second color, which I thought adding a second color was going to be cute. And it was. It for sure was. But some of my inspiration pictures on Pinterest, I seen something similar to these. They were large, they were huge. And they were just like, oh, keep adding hot glue to the edges. It'll like work wonderful. These are the biggest pain when you are working with like any type of circles and yarn or twine, or it is a pain. Like anyone you are gonna 100% agree that it is just not the easiest thing because it just slides off the edges. So this is what mine looked like in the beginning. I ended up adding a couple more strands of that gray, but I didn't want to bore you with this entire video of me just wrapping yarn around, because I guess that's kind of what I'm doing with a lot of these projects, is wrapping yarn around. So this is the larger hoop, and I am just wrapping this around the center. I always start with the center. You could really start with wherever you want, just depending on what type of design you want. You could go crazy with this, honestly. It doesn't even have to be exactly lined up like mine. You could make all sorts of stuff with yarn. I kind of wish I would have did things a little bit different. Maybe added some beads would be really cute in this as well. So yeah, my mind started to kind of like after I was completely done. I was like, man, I probably should add like some beads, or like made this, added some greenery, added some florals, but I kept it simple. The second one took forever to do, and I kind of quit midway. Wanted it to be all the way at the bottom, but these are kind of like a fun little like boho. Add some like rattan like baskets around these. I think it'd be cute. All right, so last embroidery hoop, we're gonna make like a dream catcher. It's kind of what I was going with. Looks like a spider web, and then that's where I was also like, I should have added like some sort of bead. But the frustrating part about adding beads is that yarn was just gonna like unravel in some sort of way. You'd be like cutting or like taping the ends. And I think this turned out cute. I kind of wish my yarn strings or strands would have been a little bit longer when it came to these like mustardy color, but overall, I think this is cute. My youngest daughter wanted this for her room, so I'm like, yep, you can have it. Go for it. Like, she liked it, so I guess that's really all that matters. If my youngest daughter approves, I feel like she doesn't approve of a ton. So when she does and likes my crafts, I'm like, okay, like I didn't do so bad. But yeah, I'm just kind of looping these. I think these were like 12 inches long, so you might want to even like double that if you want these strands to be a lot longer. And I think I added like 20 of them, and we called it a day. But I think this one is so cute. And you could, like I said, you could do all kinds of cute things with these. Mine are just kind of plain, but kind of gives you guys some inspiration to do more fun and more colorful things for sure. So, I'm leaving it at the dead end here, where I'm just like, just let your creative mind wander there. There you go. I wanted to make it a little more simpler, so we're going with this terracotta pot. I am just reusing this from a DIY I did a year or so ago. It was for Easter. I think there was eggs in it. I just pulled it out and I was like, I'm not going to use this, but I don't want to just throw it away. So I was like, let's just repurpose it. So that is exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm taking some of this white yarn and I'm just wrapping it a bunch of times and then pushing it down. And my camera angles were pretty poor on this because I'm literally just wrapping it and then I'm pushing it down, but there wasn't a good way of showing that, but you get the whole idea of it. Like, it's yarn. It's not, rocket science for sure. And then I just loved this. I don't even know what color to call this. It's like a burnt coral color. I guess that's what we're going to go with. The backside was not perfect. This is what the backside looks like. And you know what? It's really okay because we're going to be showing off the front side anyways. I'm going to throw this on a shelf and you're never going to be able to see the backside unless someone picked it up, which I highly doubt. People don't come over to our house very often. And then using that gray color yarn, I love this one as well. I actually loved all the colors I picked out from Dollar Tree. They just had the cutest ones, and a lot of the spring colors were taken, maybe because it's spring, maybe people are using them right now, but I like this because it can be used for everyday decor. Let's throw in a spring craft and let's throw in a free craft, right? So I'm gonna be using this cardboard. It just came off one of our Amazon boxes, and I am going to be just eyeballing and making some carrots. And I thought this would be cute just to kind of cut out. You could actually do these with kids. I think this would be like a really fun craft, and it's easy to do and it's simple. So I grabbed some greenery. This is from Dollar General. Cut out my carrots. No, they're not perfect, but once you add the yarn around them, it's not even going to matter. I decided to go ahead and add the greenery first because I wanted to kind of cover up the bottom. It didn't always work the way I wanted it to. I started using some yarn. The yarn that I'm using is also from Dollar Tree, but I did have for quite a while, and I think I like made some sort of wreath with it, and I've just had it for quite a while. There's not a ton left. I actually end up using the rest of it, thankfully, because there's just not very many times I'm going to be using yarn on my channel, if ever again, because after this video, it was, I want to say like 4 hours of doing yarn crafts, maybe even a little bit longer. But I mean, I'm not mad that I did it. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I talk faster than my mind thinks, and I'm sure that happens to some of you. But anyways, carrots, I think they turned out adorable, like using some yarn, just wrapping it around, and the ends were easy to put together. The back sides, not so pretty on these felt ones, but I had this felt and I'm like, these would be so cute to use as well. Not really thinking that you'd be able to see the cardboard through the felt. So once I press this down, you're going to see that it was kind of showing through, and having all the regrets later on of even wasting like my favorite carrot I made to add the felt to. This one actually worked and looked good. It didn't look as bad as the other one. But for this one, I decided to go a little bit crazy here. And when I mean little bit crazy, I mean like barely crazy. And added some twine around this one. I thought this looked cute. The backside, like I said, not so beautiful. But when you lay them down, they look adorable. So this is what they look like. I have this like really cute thrifted wheelbarrow. I just added some greenery to this and my carrots, and that is it. I love these, and they cost absolutely nothing. But that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I would love you consider sticking around and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.